Chapters 100 to 102 of Tristram Shandy, Volume 3. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Barry Eads. The Life and Opinions of Tristram Shandy, Gentleman, Volume 3, by Laurence Sterne. Chapter 100. Crack, 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 crack. So this is Paris, quoth I, continuing in the same mood. And this is Paris. Humph. Paris, cried I, repeating the name the third time. The first, the finest, the most brilliant. The streets, however, are nasty. But it looks, I suppose, better than it smells. Crack, 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 crack. What a fuss thou makest! As if it concerned the good people to be informed that a man with pale face and clad in black had the honor to be driven into Paris at 9 o'clock at night by a postilion in a tawny yellow jerkin, turned up with red calamanco. Crack, 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 crack. I wish thy whip, but 'tis the spirit of thy nation, so crack, crack on. Ha! And no one gives the wall. But in the school of urbanity herself, if the walls are how can you do otherwise? And prithee, when do they light the lamps? What? Never in the summer months? Ho! 'Tis the time of salads. Oh, rare! Salad and soup, soup and salad, salad and soup, encore! 'Tis too much for sinners. Now I cannot bear the barbarity of it. How can that unconscionable coachman talk so much bawdy to that lean horse? Don't you see, friend, the streets are so villainously narrow that there is not room in all Paris to turn a wheelbarrow. In the grandest city of the whole world it would not have been amiss if they had been left a thought wider. Nay, were it only so much in every single street, as that a man might know, was it only for satisfaction, on which side of it he was walking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 cooks' shops, and twice the number of barbers, and all within 3 minutes' driving. One would think that all the cooks in the world, on some great merry meeting with the barbers, by joint consent had said, "Come, let us all go live at Paris. The French love good eating. They are all gourmands. We shall rank high, if their god is their belly. Their cooks must be gentlemen. And forasmuch as the periwig maketh the man, and the periwig maker maketh the periwig, ergo, would the barbers say, we shall rank higher still. We shall be above you all. We shall be capitals, chief magistrate in Toulouse, etc., etc., etc. At least, pardi, we shall all wear swords." And so, one would swear, that is by candlelight, but there is no depending on it, they continue to do to this day. Chapter 101. The French are certainly misunderstood, but whether the fault is theirs, in not sufficiently explaining themselves, or speaking with that exact limitation and precision which one would expect on a point of such importance, and which, moreover, is so likely to be contested by us, or whether the fault may not be altogether on our side, in not understanding their language always so critically as to know what they would be at, I shall not decide, but 'tis evident to me, when they affirm, that they who have seen Paris have seen everything, they must mean to speak of those who have seen it by daylight. As for candlelight, I give it up. I have said before, there was no depending upon it, and I repeat it again, but not because the lights and shades are so sharp, or the tints confounded, or that there is neither beauty or keeping, etc., for that's not truth, but it is uncertain light in this respect, that in all the 500 grand hotels which they number up to you in Paris, and the 500 good things, at a modest computation, for 'tis only allowing one good thing to a hotel, which by candlelight are best to be seen, felt, heard, and understood, which by the by is a quotation from Lilly, the devil a one of us out of 50 can get our heads fairly thrust in amongst them. This is no part of the French computation, 'tis simply this, that by the last survey, taken in the year 1716, since which time there have been considerable augmentations, Paris doth contain 900 streets, viz. In the quarter called the City there are 53 streets. In St. James of the Shambles 55 streets. In St. Opportune 34 streets. In the quarter of the Louvre 25 streets. In the Palace Royal, or St. Honoras, 49 streets. In Montmartre 41 streets. In St. Eustace 29 streets. In the Halles 27 streets. In St. Denis 55 streets. In St. Martin 54 streets. In St. Paul, or the Motellerie, 27 streets. The Grève, 38 streets. In St. Avoy, or the Verrerie, 19 streets. In the Marais, or the Temple, 52 streets. In St. Anthony's, 68 streets. In the Place Maubert, 81 streets. In St. Benet, 60 streets. In St. Andrews d'Arcs, 51 streets. In the quarter of the Luxembourg, 62 streets. And in that of St. Germain, 55 streets, into any of which you may walk, and that when you have seen them with all that belongs to them, fairly by daylight, their gates, their bridges, their squares, their statues, and have crusaded it moreover, through all their parish churches, by no means omitting St. Roch or Sulpice, and to crown all, have taken a walk to the 4 palaces, which you may see, either with or without the statues and pictures, just as you choose. Then you will have seen. But 'tis what no one needeth to tell you, for you will read of it yourself upon the portico of the Louvre, in these words: Earth no such folks, no folks ere such a town as Paris is. Sing, derry, derry, down. Non orbis gentem, non urban gens habet alum ulla parum. The French have a gay way of treating everything that is great, and that is all can be said upon it. Chapter 102. In mentioning the word gay, as in the close of the last chapter, it puts one, i.e., an author, in mind of the word spleen, especially if he has anything to say upon it. Not that by any analysis, or that from any table of interest or genealogy, there appears much more ground of alliance betwixt them than betwixt light and darkness, or any two of the most unfriendly opposites in nature, only 'tis an undercraft of authors to keep up a good understanding amongst words, as politicians do amongst men, not knowing how near they may be under a necessity of placing them to each other, which point being now gained, that I may place mine exactly to my mind, I write it down here, spleen. This, upon leaving Chantilly, I declared to be the best principle in the world to travel speedily upon. But I give it only as matter of opinion. I still continue in the same sentiments, only I had not then experience enough of its workings to add this, that though you do get on at a tearing rate, yet you get on but uneasily to yourself at the same time. For which reason I here quit it entirely, and for ever, and 'tis hardly at any one's service. It has spoiled me the digestion of a good supper, and brought on a bilious diarrhea, which has brought me back again to my first principle on which I set out, and with which I shall now scamper it away to the banks of the Garonne. No, I cannot stop a moment to give you the character of the people, their genius, their manners, their customs, their laws, their religion, their government, their manufactures, their commerce, their finances, with all the resources and hidden springs which sustain them. Qualified as I may be, spending 3 days and 2 nights amongst them, and during all that time making these things the entire subject of my inquiries and reflections. Still I must away. The roads are paved, the posts are short, the days are long, 'tis no more than noon. I shall be at Fontainebleau before the king. Was he going there? Not that I know. End of chapters 100 to 102. End of the Life and Opinions of Tristram Shandy, Gentleman, Volume 3, by Laurence Sterne.